Hey everyone, welcome back to my latest trapping video. Today we'll be going over how to build an OP rally trap. So we'll go over the pay-to-play version, which is obviously the overpowered part, and we'll also go through a free-to-play version. So if you're following along and you're not spending a lot of money, we will do all that. So we'll go through everything. We'll go through gear, your talents, we'll go through the familiars you need, we'll go through the research, we'll go just everything about a rally trap. I will put timestamps in down there, so you can actually just go to whatever one you actually want to see, and you can go back to that at any time. I will do sort of a overview of it. I'll try to go as thorough as possible without making this video too long. So let's start off with the troops. So troops you're gonna need for rally trapping, obviously. The whole point is to have a lot of troops and be low might, or just be something that you'll actually get hit with and you can cap. So the basis is most people will be running a tier 2 frontline. They're great fodder and all that. Depending on how strong you are and who's going to be hitting you and how many rallies you want to take, that will depend on what you will need for troops. So a basic one is 2.5 mil of each tier 4. Again, people are stronger nowadays, so you're going to need more tier 4, and at least 5 mil of each tier 2, because you're probably going to take more than one rally. Because if you get countered nowadays, you're going to be taking 5 mil, so there goes your whole front line. And that brings me to the second point. How many rallies are you going to take? Are you going to take multiple, like a double? You probably want to have at least double your front line, triple, etc., etc. If you want to be a rally party trap, you're going to need like 1 billion troops nowadays, because it's really hard to cap multiple rallies unless you have insane stats. Also, if you want to go very free to play, you're going to need more troops than if you go pay to play. So this is a decent pay to play setup. It's only around 23, 24 million troops. You can probably cap some big guys with this. If you're going free to play, you're probably going to want to add a bunch more, unless the leads are really weak in your kingdom, because any strong lead nowadays, and if you're free to play, you probably will burn with this comp, honestly. You probably want to go up to 3+ mil tier 4. Don't go too much tier 4. There is sort of a cap. It's like a soft cap around 12 mil, and the damage once you get over like 10 mil total tier 4, so let's say 3.3 mil of each tier 4, the damage starts kind of just leveling off a little bit. So you might want to start adding more tier 2 at that point. Go up around 3 mil of each tier 4 if you're smaller, and then start adding more tier 2. I would go heavy range, because most rallies nowadays are either cav or infantry, so you probably don't want to be sitting in infantry all the time, because you're going to get either countered or like infantry on infantry. You'd rather go range, and maybe go range wedge, where you're not taking as much damage from infantry and you're countering the cav, and not many people go range, so range wedge is not good against range, but since a lot of people don't go range, it's a good formation. So I'd go a little bit heavier on the range, and then go like a little bit more of each of these, just so you can counter them when you need to. Again, 5 mil is very, very low if you're in a big kingdom. You want to go a little bit higher, so keep that in mind. And for every rally you want to take, you probably want to double the 5 mil front lines. So if it's a double and you're sitting in range or whatever, you probably want like 10 mil range if you want to be taking doubles, 15 mil if you're taking triples, because again, you want to take more than one rally too, so, or one round of rallies. You need to be able to take multiple, so just keep adding 5 mil here for that, and you can add a couple mil of these for each of those as well, so keep that in mind. So maybe if you're taking triples, go up to maybe, oh, you probably want more cav. So again, it really depends on your front line too, so keep that in mind. If you want a bigger, like if you're going range front line, you want more cav to counter the infantry that's coming in, so you probably want, let's say, 10 mil here or something like that, 8 mil here, and 7 or 6 mil here, and then kind of double that for every rally you want to take almost. Maybe don't double the cav as much, but keep it up. So again, it's really complicated. It really depends on your comp and everything. You want to mess around with it. This is just a rule of thumb for troops. Again, if you have tier 5, that's another option. You can start adding tier 5 in here, maybe go a couple, like 2 mil of each tier 4, a million of each tier 5. That is stronger, obviously, but tier 5 is 80 million might, just for the research. Keep that in mind. You do get some stats, but we'll go over research after. I want to do gear next, just so we can go through like best in slot and all that, so let's just go like a normal mix account. Again, this is not normal, but we'll kind of show you what you want to be going. So for pay to play, this is pretty good. If you're going champ, you just go champ, honestly. You go champ hand, you go champion helm, champion, 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 champion. Like, that's pay to play. Free to play, you can probably get cups. So cups are a good option. There's also, let's say, blight rings are a good option. Burning scrolls are a good option. Drums, unless they're like super high tempered, are probably not the best. Unless you need cav, I probably wouldn't go Terravile since you're getting enough of that from your like cups and everything already. So, and cups are actually easy to get free to play nowadays. Like my free to play trap is 3 purple cups. Just keep in mind that it is obviously a little bit older, but there's so many things to get halos nowadays. Just go cups and then maybe one of these two as well. You're pretty much set. Pay to play, you can go champ, you can go cups. It's up to you. You're probably going mythic anyways for these. For the boots, your options are your storm tassets, your champion strides, or there's one other option that is the dragon talons. So it really depends what your like budget is. Honestly, storm tassets nowadays are easy to get as free to play because you just get so many pearls and bargain stores and stuff. It's actually pretty easy. Dragon talons are really easy to get if you're buying Material Madness, and if you go champ, obviously champ is champ. So champ is usually the best in slot. For the body, actually, Firewall Plate is one of the best to go. So free to play, pay to play, go Firewall Plate. It's easy to temper, all that stuff. You can go Champion Plate if you want to go pay to play and go the champion route, but Firewall is actually a decent in-slot piece, and there's not really too much more unless you're going like Hardened Carapace, but it doesn't really have the HP in there. It does have decent attack stats, so it's okay, but I would suggest Firewall Plate if possible. If you have like a purple one, that's okay. Mythic one is a little bit better, all that stuff. Helm, go Bee Helm, just go Bee Helm. Bee Venoms are easy to get. My free to play account actually has a gold Bee Helm now, 100% free to play. Mythic free to play, you can also go Bee Helm, or you can go the champion helm for that. All good slots. Again, for jewels, just go champion jewels, or if you can, just like gold attack jewels, purple attack jewels, go attack jewels if possible. Again, this is set up for calves. Ignore that. This is my cav blast. It's also in my mix set, but yeah, for that, again, this account is a little bit stronger. For the main hand, so Frostwing Greatsword is probably your best bet. If you can get the Skull Crusher, that is better than the Frostwing Greatsword. So it goes Frostwing, Skull Crusher, Champion. Champion's obviously the best at that point. There's other options as well, but those are kind of where you want to go. If you're really free to play, the free to play like Fiery Tomahawk down here, that's a good starter one, but most people are at least getting into the purple Frostwing, gold Frostwing, mythic Frostwing, and then if you can, Skull Crusher. It is a lot more expensive since you need 9 brains opposed to the 4, is it hearts? What was it? Yeah, the hearts. So the Frostwing hearts. Yeah, that's for that slot. And offhand, you have a couple options here. Just go Winter Mitts if you can. A Mythic Lunar Scimitar is pretty good if you don't have like gold gloves. I'd go Mythic Scimitar. Once you get gold Winter Mitts, go Winter Mitts. Dragon Fists is also an option if you don't. If you have this up, Gold Plus, that's also a good option. But Winter Mitts is a little bit better. I'm not sure. Yeah, anyways. And then obviously you can go Champion Light if you need some extra attack over the HP and stuff like that. So they're all good options for all that. So that's pretty much for your mix set. Gear is pretty simple, honestly. There's only a couple in-slot pieces. Most people go the same thing. Put attack jewels in here. If you have, if you need champion, put some champion jewels in here. Keep in mind, this account right here you're looking at is set up more for blasting and stuff, so don't follow these jewels. These are my blasting sets. It is for range and then infantry blast as well. So you don't need all these terror jewels in here. You just put cav or champion jewels in there as well. Same with all these. This is set up for infantry blast. This is for cav. This is set for cav blast. This is the only one that's actually set up for mix, and it actually has full gold jewels in it. So anyways, going on to familiars. So we'll go wall familiars just to show you what you should be going for that. So I'll go onto our wall. Ignore what I have on here. I am currently baiting without an ante, so I'm running just random ones. So honestly, these are not the best ones to do. Don't do these ones. I'm just gonna have them on my wall for actually, I'm just gonna take them off just so we can do this. So for a free-to-play or a comp that has a lot of troops, if you have a lot of troops, you will not be triggering these like 4% familiars, so you probably want to go something that triggers at the start, like just always has it. So something like Hearty Feast, Drown Out, something that at the start of battle you actually just have that, like that. These are good ones to start off with for that. And then there's also the other one, like Nosros and stuff like that. But those are free-to-play triggering ones. I'll go over those after this. So those are ones, if you have a lot of troops or you're free-to-play, it's good to have. If you're pay-to-play, though, the ones you want to go for are stuff like this. These are the Pack 5 familiars. So Savage Breath, and you have Holy Terror, Giant's Fist. These are all ones that trigger at 4%. You can see here, deals 600% damage based on your cav attack once 4% of your troops have fallen. So that's total troops. So if you have 20 million troops, that's like, what is that, 800k it'll trigger at. 30 million, it's starting to like 1.2. Am I doing this right? 4%. Yeah, 4% of a million. Yeah, okay, that's right. 20 mil. Yeah, so for every 10 mil, you add an extra 400k. I'm pretty sure at that point. Yeah, so 10 mil, it's at 400k. At 20 mil, it's 800k. 30 mil, it triggers at 1.2 mil. 40 mil at 1.6. 50 mil at 2 mil, and now you're starting to get into areas where they're not triggering in a lot of battles. So once you get up there, that's when you start wanting that. And the other one you actually want on your wall, if you're pay to play and you have 4 slots, is the Jade Worm. So this one here, you can see, reduces damage inflicted by your enemies by 9% when 4% of your troops have fallen. So they all trigger pretty much at the same time. These ones doing massive damage to them, and this one actually reducing the amount of damage you are taking by 9%. So which is pretty awesome as a rally trap since you're trying to do that. So again, you can also go these ones if you have a really small comp, that's okay, but 10% is a lot, because keep in mind 10% of a million, or 10% of 10 million is 1 million. If you have 20 million troops, now it's triggering at 2 million for each of these. So it's really not worth it to be on your wall at all times. Again, I'm just baiting with these things on my wall. If you guys are wondering, that's why they're currently on my wall. So we'll go heroes. Wait, we're still on familiars. Let's go over to the familiars, and we'll go over just some other stuff in familiars just so you can have it. Again, all these Pack 5 familiars actually do give you stats, so you can max all these. These are all good to actually max. So all the Pack 5s gives you like army attack and all that. So go through all the Pack 5s, level all these up, you get a bunch of stats from them. The other ones that give you stats are, where's the Mole Shaman? Here you go. So Mole Shaman, it gives 10% infantry, so you're gonna wanna do that. Does Magus give it as well? Wait. I always forget which ones. Nosros, yeah, Nosros gives you 10% attack. Keep in mind, this is the other good one for free-to-play accounts, by the way. This one's easy to get because it actually uses the red orbs, and you can put this one on your walls. So if you have 3 slots, these are pretty good. Increases cav attack and HP by 60% for 15 seconds when 5%. So it's like the poor man's Pack 5 familiar. Gives you attack and HP. Great to have on your wall if you are a free-to-play account and can't afford the more higher paid ones. So something like that. No, not Tempest. It's not Tempest. One second. Over. Is Mole the other one? Sorry, I don't actually have these ones because, again, this account is pay to play. So again, these are actually not bad for actually attacking too. So that's also an option to get. But again, this one's for infantry. If I had 5 slots, I'd probably go for these. Magus is the other one for range. So those are the 3, Magus, what is it called, Mole Shaman, and these ones. So you can get all 3 of those on your wall. They're great Pack 5s, but keep in mind, if you are running a bigger comp, these are not useful, so just keep that in mind. So once you get over 40 million troops, it starts becoming less and less useful, and because they will trigger really late in the battle a lot of times, and they're not super useful at that point. That's the only reason. So if you're running a small comp, good. Huge comp, not so much. Go just the free-to-play ones like Evil Weevil and stuff that increase your HP at the beginning, no matter how many troops you have. So let's go on to the next thing. We are going to go on to talents. Everyone always asks me about talents. Talents are the easiest thing. First off, to start here, get your HP, get your range offense 3, get your cav offense 3, get your infantry offense 3. That's a good start. Then go down here. add some more HP, and then go to these ones here and add whatever you need. So if you need more cav and infantry, or cav and range, add more cav and range. If you need more cav and infantry, do that, etc, etc. That's pretty much it. Also, yeah, make sure you max the 5% army attack at the beginning, because that's lots of stats for very little points there. So it's very simple. Just max the bottom, max the max the squad HP, then max your attack in between here, whatever one you need. Done. So, and that would depend on your stats. If you, let's say, have a range front line, you need more cav attack, do that. If you have an infantry front line, you need more range, do that. Whatever. It's up to you. Decide that on your own based on your stats, your gear, all that. There's a bunch of factors in here, so keep that in mind. So next thing we want to go on to is heroes. So wall heroes. So most people will be running free-to-play heroes. Ignore this. Again, this is my wall bait. So for a normal wall, you probably, let's take all these off. You will always probably want Rose Knight, free-to-play or pay-to-play. Actually, pay-to-play, you probably don't need Rose Knight because you're pay-to-play. I technically don't need it. I just use it for baiting because it looks free-to-play. So on this account, what I would do is, depending on my comp, if I'm going heavy range, again, my comp is tiny on this one, so it might go something like this, then I'll go down here and put that on my wall, and then choose another army attack hero. I can go infantry or cav, depending on what I have. Again, where's my other one? Yeah, I probably wouldn't have this one on my wall. I probably have something else, but what I could do is just put another infantry one on here for this, or I can go, is there any more on here? No, that's pretty much it for this. So yeah, that's a good pay to play. You can see you got a bunch of army attack, army HP, army defense. I could switch this one out for this one because this one technically gives me army HP and army attack as well instead of just cav HP. That's the only reason why Rose Knight is not as good as this, because given cav HP, I probably won't be sitting in cav. Army HP is a little bit better with 25%, so I normally switch these two, but because of, what does this give me? Yeah, this is army HP and army attack as well. But because of me trying to bait, I don't have a pay-to-play hero on my wall at any time because of that. So the other option for free-to-play would be, technically Watcher is free-to-play, so if you can get Watcher, that's great. Put Watcher on your wall. If you can't get Watcher, the other options are pretty simple. You have your Child of Light. Anything that gives you attack and HP is what you're looking for. So Child of Light is one of them. Demon Slayer is one of them. Oathkeeper is another. And then we have down here, we have Snow Queen for range. You can also go Bombing Goblin because it gives army attack, no HP, keep in mind. So if you're going a range front line, that might be an issue just for that. So keep that in mind. So you can go with something like this. Actually, range front line, you probably don't even need Bombing Goblin, whatever. You probably want 2 cav on your wall because you want extra cav damage, and then you can throw an infantry hero on there. Or you can switch any of these. Like, all these are pretty good. You can switch this one out for this one, or you can switch, let's say, that out for, what do we have right now? Yeah, just 2 infantry heroes, whatever you want for your wall. It really depends on your comp and all that. But for free to play, it's like that. For pay to play, you just go the army attack ones, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, I'll just actually go free to play here just so I can make it easy for myself here. Again, I'm baiting with this without an ante. That's why you see free to play on the wall when I have a bunch of pay to play ones. Anyway, so what's the next thing? We want to go research. Oh, also, if you're doing Dragon Arena, you probably want to get this one, because this one gives the army attack and HP and all that. So you can get this one free to play or pay to play. Then there's like pay to play ones where it gives you just passive stats what you can work up to. Same with, let's say, where's that? Does Necroduke? Yeah, Necroduke gives the same one. Anything that has this castle here is a passive stat. It's not an active, so you don't actually need it on your wall to get the stats. You just get it at all times. Same thing with Sand Sage, all this, so it's passive. So it's just a castle stat. It actually says passive too, so by the way, if you see passive here, it means your castle always gets this as long as you have the hero. So that's why Boommeister is good. It's a passive stat, doesn't eat into your march. Sand Sage, all those ones. So again, those are pay to play ones, so you probably won't get those. The only one free to play around here is Boommeister, what you get in Dragon Arena. So going on to research. So this is another important thing for traps to do. Just go to research and actually research what you need for traps. So again, military for rally traps is pretty easy. You just max out this whole thing. So you want the counter boost 100% if you want to be a rally trap. This is almost the bare minimum you need to be a rally trap nowadays. So if you're free to play, make sure you're getting those tomes and you're spending them here to get those counter boosts, because it's super important. Obviously, you need all this to get tier 4 anyways. This part is obviously just for that. For that. Again, monster hunting, that's up to you. So if you want to go down to 4 or something, or 5 or 0, depending on your budget, that's up to you. Because again, monster hunting helps you get gear. By the way, if you want a good monster hunting bus, I will leave a poster here just so you can check it out. It goes pretty much every day at the same time right now. Just check that out if you want to do monster hunting. It's a great way to get materials and stuff for your gear. If you go pay to play, just buy a bunch of packs. You don't need monster hunting pretty much. That's pretty much it. So down here, again, army leadership. If you're going to be going down here, wedges is good. If you're super free to play and you're having a really hard time capping people nowadays, and you don't mind a little bit extra might, you can go down and get the debuffs. Again, debuffs are super strong, but keep in mind this whole tree is like 100 and I think it's like 120 mil might. So if you could add 120 mil might to your rally trap and you don't mind that, these are super strong, because again, these are multiplicative, they're not additive. So if the person has, let's say, 1,000% defense, this will reduce it by 100%. Because it's 10% of that total. Same with this one, it is 10% of HP, and this is 10% of attacks. You're reducing their stats by 10% total. If someone has 1,000%, that's 100% you're reducing it by. If they have 2,000%, it's 200%. If they only have 500%, it's 50%, so it's not quite as strong. So keep in mind, stats will keep getting better. So if you find that stats are too high nowadays and you really need like a boost, this is the way to do it. Again, free-to-play people will probably do this. Pay-to-play, there's a little more wiggle room, your pack 5s and your full counter at 60% and stuff. But something that's free-to-play will not get that, so keep in mind for that. Oh yeah, I forgot one more thing for, whatever. There's one other thing for heroes and familiars I did not go over. I will put that in right now. Counter. When I was talking about counter, Jade Wurm is one of them that you want to get. If you can get it in Guildfest, you probably will at least get these first two. I've got it free to play already on one of my accounts. These first two you can probably get. The last one, it's going to be a lot of Guildfest to get this one. So pay to play can get it. I would highly suggest, if you can get anything on a trap, get Jade Wurm and get Chronicler. They both have 15% counter of each. Just max them out as fast as you possibly can. I said, where's Chronicler? Chronicler, here you go. Chronicler, 15% counter, 50% counter, 50% counter. Get these two. If you can, like, if you're pay to play, you 100% have to get these. It's like the minimum of a pay to play trap to get these two, 100%. I'm very adamant about this because it's super strong. Just as adamant as you can't be literally a rally trap without doing the counter research in the military. So that's the other one here. You like 100% need this if you want to go from solo trapping to rally trapping. You need to get this. Same thing if you want to be a really strong trap, you have to get Chronicler if pay to play, and obviously Jade Wurm is somewhat more free to play because you can get it in Guildfest nowadays. And again, I've got these first two unlocked. I've got it to adult. You have to get it to elder to get this last one, but do it, buy it. If you're just buy it. If you're gonna spend anything, buy this. It's worth it. Trust me, it's so strong. And that's actually the one thing that will basically save you from having to go debuffs, unless you want to go a massive trap. Like if you put like 100 mil troops on there, you can be a rally trap. Go ahead. It works. Trust me. I've showcased that on the channel already. It works, but do that. So let's go back to research. Sorry, tangent. Before I forgot, I had to go tell you guys that one. So. Anything else, really, familiar battles, it really depends how many slots you want. Rally trap, you might want to go 3 slots. Solo trap, honestly, you don't even need familiars. Technically, if you go enough troops, you don't need familiars either, but that's the go huge one. This account has 4 because it is a lead, so it needs 4. If you go 5, that's like an extra 100+ mil might just go from 4 to 5, so probably not worth one slot to get 100 mil. If you want to spend that 100 mil, go for debuffs. it's much better on a trap. So anyways, where was I on this one? Research, yeah, military, yeah, wedges, debuffs if you need it. Military command, just go breakthrough. Nothing else is really needed in here. Upgrade military, depends how many quick swaps you really want. This one obviously has a lot more quick swaps than you need. You probably only need 2 if you're just straight up trap, just real gear, fake gear, construction gear, research gear. If you do have a champion main hand, don't go research gear. I've made that mistake on my other rally trap. It throws your champion main hand in your gear, and then you've now switched from your real gear to your research gear, which has champion in it, and you're like, oh crap, they know I have a mythic champ main hand on there. I've done it on my other trap. Just don't do that. So yeah, so construction gear is something you can swap to, and then maybe just get 2 quick swaps. My solo trap literally has 1 quick swap because it's a free-to-play account, and my war gear is not super scary. I go construction gear to my real gear. That's all I really do. But if you're a rally trap, you might want 2. If you're a lead, like a mini lead, obviously you want more, but we're not doing mini lead overview right now. We're doing rally trap. Then yeah, like gear, this is for ignore this. I just wanted more, this was because they wanted more battalions. So again, you don't need that as a trap. So ignore that one in the middle. I'm gonna put my hand right in the middle there. Just ignore that. So if you're gonna go tier 5 on a rally trap, this is the only one you don't need to do. Keep in mind. So the only one you don't need to do has been done on this account. You can go down here. It does give you some extra stats and stuff down here as well, up to, what is it, 10%. And then you can go down here and do your tier 5. Again, this whole thing minus this one here is 80 million might. So if you go tier 5, you're going to be adding 80 million might to your account. So if you don't want to do that, don't do it. It's not 100% needed. Tier 4 rally traps are still fine. One of my rally traps is tier 5. This one's tier 4. It seems to do just fine. So wonder battles, you don't technically need to do them, but there are some decent stats in here. You can get 10%. That will be up to you. You can look at that. But that's just extra stats if you want. The other wonder battles, you don't need to do it at all. Sigils, there is some attack and stuff. There's actually 15% attack in this one, so you can do that. But again, it's not needed. It's just if you want some extra one. Keep in mind, this is all extra might you keep adding to your account, so that will be up to you. Familiar battles, I already showed you that. That's for slots. Familiars themselves, you can really unlock as high as you want depending what familiars you're going. You don't need to go all the way to pack 4 unless you want the pack 4s familiars in there. Pack 3s is pretty good. You can get some of the decent ones in there already, like Nostros and stuff, I'm pretty sure, in pack 3. Just gonna double check that to make sure, because pack 3, yeah, you get Nostros and stuff like that, so you do get your extra stats in here, plus the free-to-play pack 5s, quote-unquote pack 5s or pack 3s, but whatever. So you know what I'm talking about. You can get those for pack 3. You don't need to go to pack 4 unless you want to be a lead or something like that. And if you're super pay-to-play, you don't even need to go that far. So anyways, how to counter. So we'll do a quick little thing of how to counter, just go through the formations, because everyone's sometimes confused on wedges and phalanxes and all those things. Sorry, phalanx if you haven't been following the channel, but I'm going to say it the other way because I like it. So again, so the difference between a wedge and a foul is because where basically the troops get put. So it's pretty simple. Fouls are usually better if you are full countering something. So let's say a ranged march is coming in. You usually want to go for like infantry foul. Wedges are usually good because if, let's say, you get full countered, a lot of times the troop that counters the thing that full counters you is right next to the thing that's getting full countered. So it's usually a little bit better depending on what you're going. Range wedge, you can see here, but keep in mind, let's say something like range wedge is not good against range because it's throwing your infantry way in the back, and that's the thing that counters the range. So, and your cav aren't really doing much damage to the range, so you end up taking more damage than if you were an actually range foul against a range blast. Yeah. Cav foul is usually not very good because if you ever get hit by a range march, your infantry is way in the back. Keep in mind, anytime your infantry is in the back, of a formation. So basically these, or what's called, these two formations, it's going to go really bad against range. It's also going to do pretty bad against mix attacks, because mix attacks are kind of the meta nowadays. So we'll kind of go over both. So again, if you're foe countering, just go with fouls. Sometimes wedge is okay against infantry blast because your infantry are slow. Again, you don't want to put your infantry in the back because they do very little damage. Range wedge is pretty good against infantry blast, just how the formation comes and these all run up and those run in and you start doing extra damage. Infantry wedge, it's decent against, let's say, cab blasts, and I mean it's okay against cab blasts, but so again, range wedge is actually the hardest to zero, by the way, because once you start getting low troops, it starts switching the things that people hit, and it's the most annoying thing ever. I actually tried to zero someone range wedge the other day, and they actually ended up with range at the end of the battle. That was the last thing. Like, it was the front line that ended up literally surviving the all our battles that we attacked them, and the last thing we killed was the range, even though it's the front line. It's the most annoying thing to actually zero. So if you have low troops, range wedge is great, but otherwise you can go the other ones. But so yeah, so mixed attacks. Let's go mixed attacks because we're talking about that. So for mixed attacks, I found range foul is actually the best. I found range wedge is really not good because most mixed attacks go 4-4. That's 40% infantry, 40% cav, and 20% range. So going this formation is good. Your infantry is up here. You're going to get there. I know infantry foul is decent as well, but I find range foul is better, especially since most of my comps are going heavy range anyways. So you want the range doing most of the damage. Your cavs up, your infantry's up front, and your cav are pretty fast, so they get there pretty quickly. Range wedge, I found I burn a lot against 4-2-4, so don't go just don't go range wedge. I think the difference between range foul and range wedge at one point I took like 1.8 mil in range foul, and I took like 4 mil in range wedge from a 4-2-4, so keep that in mind there. Cav is actually not too bad against 4-2-4, just keep that in mind. If you're going to do cav foul, your infantry will be in the back, so cav wedge might actually be better since your infantry are up here. Keep in mind, for mix attacks, it's basically you want all your troops doing the maximum amount of damage so you can cap them, because mix attacks don't do a ton of damage, but they have a chance to walk back nowadays. So basically, just don't put your infantry in the back and you'll be fine. So basically, any of these are actually decent. I would say foul is better since your range can actually do that. Range foul, for me, I found the most success so far against that. Keep in mind, if they start sending mix attacks that aren't 4-2-4, if they're sending like a 6-2-2, which is 60% infantry, 20% range, 20% cav, you probably don't want to be sitting in range for that because their infantry is going to do a ton of damage. So I would go infantry foul, but I would technically, I'd rather go like cav wedge against something like that. So that really depends on their mix attack that they're sending, but the basic one is 4-2-4, so go range foul and you'll probably have your most success. Personally, I found that, but again, it might depend on your comp and all that too. So so let's go artifacts. This is probably the last thing we'll go over today, just so you guys know. Let's go artifacts. So artifacts, pretty simple. Go for the most stats that you can get. Usually gold ones are the best. If you can get stuff like the king strategy and all that, it's probably something you want to level up high because they get the best stats out of it. If you want to get these up to 4 stars, you will start needing these shards, so you will have to go and actually star up purples and star up blues. You technically don't need to level these up. You just need the stars themselves to get the shards, so you can do that. But yeah, also, if you are not going into Fury, don't do the Fury ones. Pretty simple. Fury ones are only used for people who are in Fury, so if you get HP, cav like this, I mean, rally traps is totally fine to do because most rally traps will go into Fury, but keep in mind you don't level these up if you don't plan to go into Fury because they're useless stats if you're not going to Fury. But good if you are going to Fury, but other than that, so you can see all of them. Just do the gold ones; they're really good. You get the most stats for them, all that. But yeah, artifacts are pretty simple. So yeah, and basically level the ones up you need the most. So let's say you need more range attack, put more into range. If you need more cav, it will depend on what your gear is, what your current setup is, all that stuff. So I think that's pretty much it. If you have any more questions about rally trapping, put them in the comments down below. Also, if you're really confused, go to the Discord. I have a Discord. We can talk about it in the Discord, or people can crowdsource stuff in the Discord and help you out with your traps. That's pretty much it at this point. Yeah, go full infirmaries if you want to go rally trapping in a big kingdom. That's where you get your HP. If you're not full rally trapping, obviously I got manners, but that's because I'm building troops. So because I've been leading on this account. So let's see. I think that's everything today. So again, if you do like these videos, hit a thumbs up. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.